Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome on board La PRESSE REFAIT Le Match. It's a brand new edition for this week, and on this week's program, we are going to be focusing on two champions. We're talking about the champions of the League One, PWD of Bamenda, as well as the Astres Football Club of Douala, who were crowned champions of the League Two championship last season, pushing them to the top tier championship this time around. And we are going to be discovering how these teams are preparing and the various signings that they've been doing so far as the transfer window is concerned. This and more shall constitute the package on tonight's edition of the program. Don't go anywhere.
Je suis Benjamin Mongo, entraîneur de football de haut niveau. Je suis attentivement l'émission La Presse refait le match tous les mardis à 16h30 sur STV Télévision.
Je suis Patrice Bekindek, ancien joueur de la Dynamo de Douala, l'Avenir de Douala, du Tonnerre TKC de Yaoundé, et je regarde la presse refait le match sur STV.
It has been a rocky road to the summit of the country's top-tier championship, as PWD of Bamenda had to wait on the sidelines and watch as others began the season not knowing where their fate lies. Thanks to the decision which deducted points from Astro as a result of a purported fraudulent identity, the Abaka boys bounced back to the limelight to rejoin the elites after escaping the drop. Little did they know that was a springboard for glory, as they started the championship not hitting their right notes and conceding their worst defeat of the season away to Coton Sport Garwa, who were seen as one of the red-hot favorites by 5-0. Those unconcretized chances slowly paved the way for what became the revolution of the season, as P Tonton lined up a series of 9 matches without losing a single game and recording in the process their biggest win margin, 5-1 at home against Apejes. A series which once more put them on the spotlight. A couple of mid-season draws and losses cast a shadow of doubt on their title credentials, but the determined squad dusted themselves from the fall and against all the odds succeeded to reel in the title and save their season, as they beat and held their closest rivals to adamantly upset the odds to sit comfortably at the summit. This success is credited to the entire team, with 11 goals up front from the season's top scorer Leon Boyomo and the Goliath's defense line marshaled by Borinho Derrick and goalkeeper Rodrigue Zame, who tallied 10 clean sheets, with a midfield marshaled by Chindo John Bosco and a coach in David Bagu, who braved the odds to put a golden silverware in a 58-year-old closet that had been yearning for a crown like this one.
You see, you're happy. You're happy. You're also happy. So, the president, Pascal Amoudé, gave me the chance to join PWD of Bamenda. So, the things go the right way. So, you're happy. You're also happy. So, that's the way. I can't the things wrong. So, it's the first time that PWD win the championship. So, you're happy. You're very happy.
The Public Works Department of Bamenda are now the second team from the Anglophone zone to win the Cameroon League after Tico United achieved the same feat in 2009.
Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, for the champions, stand up.
The champions of Cameroon now know the date when they will be able to play the CAF Champions League, as PWD of Bamenda are motivated to represent the country at this competition.
No, you see, after the come out of the date, we are happy. Every supporter of the city, even our player is motivated because of that. They realize that PWD Bamenda play really that CAF Champions League. Though we are happy, we are beginning to work to prepare that championship. So we are motivated. We are focused to be on top on the date.
They have been busy in the transfer market and are putting everything in place to ensure that they do better than what other teams have done in the last 3 years.
We are going to resume our training on Tuesday next week. So all the recruitment are closed. I have my team in my head.
Okay.
So I have all the document administrative is okay, because you know that one team want to participate on the CAF Champions League, that team obliged to have a license CAF, the team. So it's many documents to fill. So in that way we are ready. So yes, now you have to go to the field, look our guys, look our squad, how they react, how they are motivated, how this player and this player go together, and then that I can answer this question.
The first round of the CAF Champions League will begin on November 20th to the 22nd for the preliminary games first leg, and the 27th to the 29th for the return leg matches.
My name is Mbidzenyo Luis. I've been supporting the team for 22 years today. And then I'm a very big supporter in the club. I used to be a president in the club, and then sometimes as a normal executive. No, financially my president is ready. I have confidence in that. Well, I used to already. We have been playing there for 3 years today. So if it maintains that we have to go and play there, we have to just maintain it like that. So because we don't have any stadium around here apart from my 6. Yes.
Right, and I have with me in the studio Afese Apong. He is the team press officer of PWD of Bamenda. Good afternoon, Afese, and you're welcome on board La Presse Refait Le Match.
Good afternoon, John Paul. It's a pleasure being part of the program this afternoon.
All right, and so let's kickstart with PWD of Bamenda. They resumed training this Tuesday out there in the Northwestern Regional Capital. Tell us, what was the message of day one as far as resumption is concerned from the team?
The main message from the onset, as you rightly said, the team began training on Tuesday, the 8th of September, out there at their normal training ground at the Catholic School, Big Mancon. And from the onset, the message the coach gave to the player is they have to focus, concentrate, because we have little or no time to prepare for 3 competitions that are coming up soon. So the players need to be as professional as they can, and of course they need to listen to the instructions, and why not make sure that they work as hard as possible, because it's really going to be a tough season for the team, and we have 3 competitions to fight for, which means that there is a lot of work to do.
And PWD has made a host of signings, the latest being Ashu Kerido, the goalkeeper, Cameroon international goalkeeper. Tell us about the signings that have been made by the team so far.
Yeah, so far so good. PWD Social Club of Bamenda have confirmed 4 signings. We have they've brought in forward Duhamed Kalamanji Mabenge. He's a Central African forward. He has joined the team on a 1-season loan from Cotton Sport of Garoua, with PWD having the option to making the deal permanent at the end of the season, depending on how the player is going to impress in the ranks of the Abakwa boys. We've also acquired the services of 26-year-old midfielder Vincent Paul Ngonji from Edding Sport of the Leke. And I think Ngonji is a player who we all know. We've watched him, especially in the 2018-2019 season when he was in the ranks of Dragon Sportif of Yaoundé. He scored 7 goals, playing as a defensive midfielder in just 19 league games. And it's true that they went to Edding Sport of Eleke. He did not have the base of seasons we could believe in Edding Sport of Eleke, but of course he's back and he's ready to roll on. And also we've brought in Fede Alexander, who is the son of Cameroon's 1990 World Cup hero Louis Paul Fede. He too is a former player of Dragon Sportif of Yaoundé. He has played with Racing Club of Kinshasa, and of course he has also had spares with Union Sportif of Douala after he passed through the ranks of Ecole de Brazzaville out here in Douala. So after that, the most recent signing for PW of Bamenda is goalkeeper Ashu Kerido. I think that's one of the signings that has made headlines recently. Ashu Kerido, we all know, is one of the most established goalkeepers we have in the land. He's just returning to the country from Guinea-Conakry, where he played last season with Club Industriel Kamsa, where he ended the season as the best goalkeeper in the Guinean league. And of course, he decided to come back to the country, and why not represent PW Social Club of Bamenda. So I think those are the signings we've completed this far, but the management of PW of Bamenda is not yet done with transfer. In the days ahead, be expecting to get more news again concerning transfer in the ranks of PW of Bamenda, because I believe we are going to land some few players who have that experience playing the CAF Champions League, because the intention this time around is having a team that has that balance of experience and youthful exuberance. You know, we are going to have many competitions this time around as compared to what we had in the previous season. So it's very important to have a solid squad. Your starting 11 should be as good as your bench, so that in case you need any reinforcement or need to rotate your squad, I mean, you should have the elements at your disposal to do that.
All right, and talking about the signing of Ashu Kerido, what motivated the club to go for a goalkeeper like that?
Well, you all were witnesses of what happened last season. It's true that we had 3 goalkeepers who all had game time with PW last year. We had Rodrigue Zame, who happened to be the most active goalkeeper of PW last year because he played 21 games and he kept 10 clean sheets. We had Damlabe, who played about 5 games, and Didymos played about 2 or 3 games. I mean, but the goalkeeping compartment was not that much reassuring. We had some few moments where there were some casualties in that goalkeeping compartment, and it was really a time for us to look for some reinforcement in that compartment, especially for the fact that we are going international. You cannot go international with goalkeepers who don't really have that experience, who don't know how to manage that pressure when it comes to big games. So we believe that Ashu Querido is the preferred option. You know, Ashu Querido is one of the goalkeepers for the Cameroon national team, and of course he had that experience playing for Dragon of Yaoundé, Astres of Douala, Unisport of Bafang. I mean, he has that chunk of experience, and plus the fact that they went out of the country and got that most experience, I think it's going to be a plus for PW of Bamenda. So immediately as we discovered that Ashu Querido was back in the country and was available, the management could not hesitate, but why not go in for him? It's also important to know that before signing Ashu Querido, the team had been scouting some goalkeepers. For example, we had approached the likes of Zoge, who is a goalkeeper for Astres of Douala. We were monitoring Tala Heman, who is a former goalkeeper of Bambutus FC Ombuda, I mean, and a host of others. But it happens that our final decision landed on Ashu Querido, which many believe that he's the preferred choice for us.
All right, and Coach David Pagu was recently given a contract extension. What was the motivation behind that?
Yeah, you know, when David Pagu arrived Bamenda in that was precisely on September 17, 2019. He paid a one-year contract with PW of Bamenda, and it happened that he brought in his tactics, and the team went on against all the odds and was crowned champions of the Cameroon League One Championship in the 2019-2020 season. And it was imperative for the team to why not extend his contract, because we've seen the work he has done. Management has appreciated the work, and it was just good for us to continue with David Pagu so that he can take the team to the international level. You know, David Pagu, he has been at the international stage with Cosmos Academy of Bafia, and of course keeping him and making sure that he continue with the same spirit with the team was imperative, because we've noticed that many Cameroonian clubs always failed at the level of continental football, because immediately as the team picks qualification, either the management decides to fire the coach who took the team to that level and brings in the coach who comes and maybe wants to instill his own philosophy into the team, which at times might not really go down well with most of the players in the team. So that was just what management wanted, and thank God Coach David Pagu agreed with management and prolonged his contract with the team.
Just like you said, Cameroonian teams, let me take the last 2 years, have not been able to break into the group stage of the Champions League or the Confederations Cup, and PWD has that Herculean task of representing Cameroon at the CAF Champions League this time around. What is the club doing to ensure that they break that jinx, and why not get into the group stages of the Champions League?
Well, exactly. You know, it's been a difficult past 3 or 4 years for Cameroonian clubs. They've not really been able to go above the first round, as you rightly mentioned. We've seen it with UMAs of Loom, we've seen it with Cotton Sport, we've seen it with the likes of Stade Rennais in the CAF Confederations Cup, I mean, with a host of others. At the level of PW of Bamenda, what the management wants is building a team. It's true, we are not going into the CAF Champions League as favorites, we are going in as underdogs, but we believe that we can still take people by surprise, and why not create another surprise, just as we did last year in the Cameroon League One Championship. We want to build in a solid team that has that team spirit, the fighting spirit. I mean, when you have a team that have the fighting spirit, you can break down even the difficult opponents that you could believe. It's important to have that unity in the team, and I think management is trying as much as possible to see that these guys have some experience or game time before going into a competition as such. The team will be traveling very soon to Equatorial Guinea, where they'll face AS Futuro Kings, who are also champions of Equatorial Guinea. They are preparing for a similar competition, so I think that will already give them that experience of knowing how or what it means to play at the continental level. And when they come back, they are going to play another friendly in Cameroon against South Sudan, who will be in Cameroon. That game should be taking place on the 7th of October. So I think with that, we will be able to maybe put the players in that competitive level where they can get into a competition, because we are still foreseeing some other friendly games that are coming up in the days ahead, especially when they come back from Equatorial Guinea. And just to add that, next week, management of the team is going to make sure that the boys leave Bamenda by next weekend. They come down to Limbe. They have next weekend come yes this weekend they go down to Limbe and they do maybe a 1 week camping at the Njalakwan Sports Academy before they travel out of the country to play RS Futuro Kings out there in Equatorial Guinea, precisely on the 27th of September.
Okay, now let me look at this aspect as far as your participation in the CAF Champions League is concerned. When you look at the current ground where you play your home games, it's not up to the CAF standards, and you might be forced to play the games either in Limbe or in Yaoundé or probably here in Douala. How disadvantageous is that going to be?
We all know what it means when you play your home games, especially in Bamenda with the huge crowd. I mean, it's already a push factor to the team. It motivates the players when they play and they see the thousands of home-based fans who are watching them. But when we play out of home, it's true, we will definitely lose most of those fans. Though in Douala and Limbe, we have quite a huge number of PW fans there, but that cannot be compared to if the team was playing their home games. Why not in a modern stadium out there at Big Manko? It could have been a different story. So I believe that we are going to lose that huge fan base. But I mean, when PW goes continental, it's no longer PW of Bamenda, it's PW of Cameroon. So we expect all Cameroonians to come out and push their support behind the team, no matter where we're playing. Even if we are playing out of Yaoundé, we expect that if you are playing in Yaoundé or in Douala or in Limbe, we expect that all Cameroonians, irrespective of their background, they can come and put their support behind the team, because it's PW of Cameroon, not longer PW of Bamenda, because we are at the international scene and we are representing Cameroon. And the more or the far PW goes into the competition, the more it's possible for Cameroon to regain back some of their spots they've lost at the continental level. So we believe that even at the level of federation, even the Cameroon government, they need to see how they can do their best, and why not push their support behind PW of Bamenda.
And we know that financing is a huge aspect as far as participation in the continental competition is concerned. Is PWD of Bamenda ready to carry on that way?
Well, financial wise, it's really a tough one, because we've seen it with other clubs when they go at a continental level. They have little or no support from the federation. I believe at the level of PW of Bamenda, we are already aware of the fact that it's always difficult when you go for competitions as such. The support from the federation, at times, it always comes after you had already played the competition. So management is looking into that. But that notwithstanding, we're still hoping that the federation could also act, because this is in the best interest of Cameroon football. It's not just the interest of PW that is at stake, is the interest of Cameroon football. I think it would be ridiculous if Cameroon clubs for the past 4 years, they go into the CAF competition and they get eliminated in the preliminary round. I mean, it's not really a good image for a country that has won the African Nations Cup on 5 different occasions. We should have been the ones dominating football in Africa. But I mean, we don't really get that necessary backing from the government and even the federation. You see clubs who complain that they played the CAF competition, and maybe you take the government or the federation like some 2 or 3 years before they can even start reimbursing them what they spend to go and prepare continental.
We saw a similar scenario last season with Star Renard of Melong arriving in Congo barely 48 hours.
Exactly, their match against DC Motema Pemba had to be reprogrammed because the players left Cameroon very late. So I think we need to collectively do everything to make sure that such instances should not occur again, because as I rightly mentioned earlier, it's PWD representing Cameroon, it's not PWD representing PWD itself.
And as far as registration of the players and the technical staff is concerned, how far has the club gone with that?
Yeah, you know, recently the CAF made public a program concerning the registration of players. I mean, most of the players we have in the ranks of PW of Bamenda, they have all the necessary requirements to get registered into the CAF system. Most of them, they are in possession of their passport. I think if you look at the squad we have presently, at least 80% of the players should have passports. And plus the fact that we are bringing in some players from out of the country who have played CAF competition. So I think registering the players into the CAF system is not really going to be a big problem for the team. Yeah, it's not really going to be a big problem for the team, because most of the players are ready and they are eligible to play the competition.
All right, now let's revisit last season. We know it was a fairy tale one for the likes of PWD of Bamenda. How remarkable was it when PWD they were pronounced champions of the League One?
Well, John Paul, I will take you back when the league started, 2 playing days into the league, PW of Bamenda was still not clear or certain if they are going to play in the Cameroon League One Championship or not. But when the decision came out, PW had to join in on the 3rd day of the championship, and the opening game was against Canon Sportif of Yaoundé out there at the CAF Excellence Center in Bankomo. We came as the underdogs. Surprisingly, Jindo John Bosco was 17 years by then. He was on the score sheet twice, and PWD snatched an excellent 2-1 win. We went back to Bamenda. We had another drawback. UMS of Lom had to punish PWD out there in Bamenda, and the team suffered their first defeat at home in about 4 seasons. So it was really a season full of ups and downs. We went to Garawa, suffered a 5-0 from Cotton Sport of Garawa, but it's also true that we recorded some important victories like the 5-1 win against APGS in Bamenda, 2-0 win against Almighty UMS out there in Lom. And I mean, when exactly to crown it all, that was on March the 28th, and on the 12th of May precisely, when the Cameroon Football Federation declared that they have ended all their competitions, crowning PW of Bamenda as champion. I mean, it was absolute joy and celebration in the ranks of PW of Bamenda, not just at the level of management. The supporters of the Abakwa boys were very happy because in the 58-year-old history of the team, winning their first silverware after 58 years, it's really something that was worth celebrating. And given the efforts that Coach David Pago and his boys actually put during the season, I mean, Coach David Pago had a team that we don't have stars or big name players in the squad, but all the players were able to put in their best, and they knew that they were fighting for the best interests of the team, and they simply got the reward with the result we had. So it was really a fantastic season for PW of Bamenda, and I think they actually merited what they had at the end.
Now, being a part of that team and being part of that fairy tale story, what would you say made the strength of this team all throughout last season?
Yeah, the strength of PW last year was that unity, the togetherness. I mean, from the supporters club, passing through the management, through the players. If you are somebody who is closer to the team, you notice that the players, they had that fighting spirit, they had that togetherness. They were like each other, being your brother's keeper. I mean, never at any stage did we see maybe the players getting into unnecessary quarrels, and it was one of those rare seasons where we saw supporters of PW of Bamenda who gave in all their best, and they actually behave as true supporters of the Abakwa boys. I mean, it was really a season worth celebrating and enjoying for the Abakwa boys, because everybody came together as a family. You know, they say PW of Bamenda, it's the Pupils Club. So the people actually understood that it was a Pupils Club. They came together and they gave all their best in terms of support from the fans, management, everybody. I mean, the team was grouped in supporters clubs around the country. We had supporters club for Southwest Littoral, supporters club for Center East, supporters club for Northwest and the West region, supporters club for the 3 northern regions. I mean, all those supporters club, they came together and they see how they could contribute their own percentage on each match day and support management. Why not to provide something to the players at the end of the day. We also had a supporters club out of the country, based in the United States and in Asia, and all those organs, they came together, and that was the fruit of PW's success.
Now, would you say the fact that most of your key players were not called up to the preparatory training of the intermediate Lions of Cameroon enabled you guys to keep that solid block?
I don't really think so, because if you look at it critically, in all the campings that Coach Yves Clement of the Intermediate Lions have someone, you must see a player of PW of Bamenda. From the onset, we had Mba Luis. It's true that later on he had a knee injury that kept him out. We had the likes of Ade Minov who were caught. We have the likes of Rodrigue Zame who were caught. But the regulars were Leon Boyomo and Nguang Brian. I mean, playing without Yaki Difinal and Nguang Brian, we would not say we were not deprived of some of our players. Playing without their lead scorer, Leon Boyomo, for quite a number of games, I think you will not say so. The truth is that the coach made those players to believe that in case somebody is not there and I enter in the field of play, I will need to give my best, and that was actually what we witnessed with the team. Because at times when Leon Boyomo was not there, you see the coach will adapt a system, and you see the players will actually fit in. At times Nguang Brian is not there, you see maybe he will have to convert his defense, since he was playing mostly with his three at the back. You have to play Basi Yankam, you play with Bung Joel Ondwa and Burinho Ederi. I mean, from time to time he had to rotate, and when Wang Brian comes back at times, he will have to take Basi Yankam to play at the holding midfield position together with Ndek Calling. So it was just like the boys, they had the fighting spirit. It's true that just two of our players were regular with the Intermediate Lions of Cameroon, but they were key players with the team.
And when you look at the outing of Leon Boyomo from PWD of Bamenda, quite unceremonious as most people will put it, what didn't go right between the player, top scorer last season, and the club?
Well, I think Coach David Pago has explained this on several occasions, and just on Friday in Bamenda during the press conference that they were unveiling Ashu Kerido, the media men in Bamenda, they asked the same question, and Coach David Pago said he's always taking a strong stand against recalcitrant players. It's true, when Coach David Pago came to Bamenda, he's the one who brought Leon Boyomo to Bamenda. By then, I think Leon Boyomo was playing the Central Regional League out there in Yaoundé. He came to Bamenda and he signed a 2-year contract with the Abakwa boys. And according to the explanations from Coach David Pago, at the end of the season, Leon Boyomo wanted to give him maybe some conditions before he could come back to Bamenda. And I think Coach David Pago is not a coach who functions like that. He likes disciplined players, players who are ready to give their all to the team. And he had no other choice than to allow him go, because the player asked to leave the team. He told the coach that he was no longer feeling comfortable with the team. And when the player tells you he's not feeling comfortable with the team, you force him, and he stays in the team, which is not what he wish. I mean, he is not going to give his 100%. It's not just Leon Boyomo. I can cite some other cases who are not there. Roderick Zame, he is the same case. And all the other players who had one or few bad poor disciplinary records last year, Coach David Pago have let them go out of the team. He has not retained them. Guys like Awudu Lukong, he has not retained him. I mean, you look at it, guys like Ade Mainov, he has not been retained. And we also note that one of our key players last year in Urichi Bakiliki, at the end of last season, he had an opportunity out of the country, and the management had to allow him go. So those are some of the players who were part of last year's squad who are not going to be part of the squad for the upcoming campaign. Okay, now last season we had some key players like Derek Borinho. We saw the likes of Chindo John Bosco. They were really instrumental in PWD's title winning season. And how pivotal are they going to be moving forward this time around for the club? Exactly, you made mention of a young star like Gino John Bosco, who is just 18 years of age. He had one of his best seasons in his football career, having his first full season in the Elite One Championship, scoring a total of 5 goals and providing 8 assists. And I mean, he was one of the most interesting players to watch. And the likes of Burinho Derek, they were instrumental, as Riley put it. The management of PWD playing the CAF Champions League is another opportunity for them to prove what they are capable of doing. And I think there you don't know who is watching, and they might just go play the CAF Champions League and tomorrow they get a big opportunity somewhere. I think the management of PWD has always been that type of team who or the type of management who always encourage their players. They don't stand on their way when they have opportunities. Look at a youngster like Tabor Itaka Preston, who now plays out there in the United States. Those are youngsters who came through the ranks of PW of Bamenda, and I think management have never stood against any player having that chance of going out of the country. So it's going to be the same with the likes of Chino John Bosco. They will have the opportunity to play with PW, but when they have that chance of maybe having something big or taking a big step in their career, management will definitely encourage them to do so. The likes of Ndek Collins, I mean, those were players who were really instrumental in the team's success last year, and it's just a step in the right direction. If they could maintain that same fighting spirit, they keep that form this season, I mean, it's going to be very fantastic for them. Alright, and with the new season about to begin, as the club received their trophy as a champions and prize money for last campaign? For now, we've not yet received any trophy since we won the championship. It's true we won the league during the coronavirus pandemic, and I believe that it was definitely going to be difficult for the federation to hand us the trophy while we were still at home. But now, according to information we've gotten from some sources at Feka Food, they were planning to give us the trophy when the league was initially programmed to kick off on the 26th of September. So according to information we've gotten, that game was going to be an avenue where PW was supposed to be handed their trophy. But you know, when you talk about prize money, many clubs in Cameroon, they always complain of the fact that they've won the league and maybe it takes some years before they ever receive the prize money. We hope that this time around it's going to be a different story, because we've had that transition from the professional, from the LFPC to the technical transitional committee. So we hope that the technical transitional committee is coming in with a lot of changes. And one other thing we don't really know is when we talk about prize money in Cameroon League, how much is the prize money? Because in other countries they know the prize money, but here in Cameroon it's not certain. We just talk of 20 million because during the time of the LFPC it was 20 million, but we don't know if the technical transitional committee of Alim Abubakar Konate came with some changes or not. We don't know. So for now we are just patiently waiting, and we hope that the trophy should be handed to the team as we are getting from other quarters.
All right, and going into a new season, what objectives has PWD of Bamenda set out to achieve this time around?
I think speaking in Bamenda on Friday, President Abunde Pascal was clear. We are not going into the CAF Champions League to say we want to win the CAF Champions League. Our focus is in the Cameroon League. We want to confirm our place as champions of Cameroon. We want to make the people feel that at least PW of Bamenda, they merited what they actually won. But first of all, when we are going into the new football season, the first objective is to record those points that will secure a place in the league for the next football season. And after that, once we are sure that their place is secured, the management of the team can now change their objectives and see if we can start going forward to fight for the title. But for now, the first objective as we go into the league is to secure our place in the league for the upcoming season, and from then new objectives or targets will be set.
All right, and before we go, the club has launched a couple of online platforms recently with a Twitter handle and an online YouTube for television. What's the project behind these innovations?
Exactly, you know, we are talking here of modern football, and football nowadays goes mostly with how well you market it. If you have the goods and you don't make them known to the general public, it's definitely difficult for you to reap the benefits from it. So PW of Bamenda trying to increase their presence on the social media is a form of taking our goods to the public. We want to make the fans of the team feel or know what is happening in their team. And I think we've created a Twitter page which is very active, and we call on all the supporters of PW to why not go there and follow the team, because that is where most of the club information is passed out. We have a Facebook page which has been active for quite a long time now, and I think we also share lots of information there. And recently we've created a YouTube channel which we call PWD Television, and it is focused on that's an avenue where we will mostly do match previews and post-match analysis. That's before games. We have to set a panel with experts who master the game very well. We will look into some details about the team. We talk about how well the team is preparing. I mean, doing pre-match and post-match analysis. That's where we mostly do them now for PW of Bamenda.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Officer Apong, the team press officer of PWD of Bamenda, for talking to La Presse Refait Le Match today.
Thank you, John Paul. It's a pleasure being part of La Presse Refait Le Match. It's the very first time I'm being part of the program, and of course, continue with the good work you've been doing to promote Cameroon football.
And we hope to see you in future, come probably when the season begins. And what message do you have for the fans before we wrap it up?
The message for the fans of PW of Bamenda is that keep supporting your team, stand with management. They're doing everything possible to see that the team succeeds. All your cries through our various social media platforms are being directed to the management, and of course they are looking into it. What we need is just the support, continue pushing the Abakwa boys, and together we will go places.
All right, so let's now move over to see how Les Astres Football Club of Douala are preparing as far as the upcoming season is concerned. We were at their training ground this week.
L'abonnement dépend de la pression du corps. One of the specialists qualified to the League.
Oh mon ami, passez à côté du terrain, passez à côté. Voilà, jonglez pour libérer les gens. Jonglez pour libérer les gens.
Championship yet to resume, and Astres Football Club of Douala have already resumed training. Tell us, what was the focus in training today?
Not only today, because we have always started yesterday, and it's a great pleasure for us to start after the COVID-19 that have put every sport and football movement down. This is our second season today, and we are looking forward to build a very new team. According to the team we had last year, we have kept most of our players, and we still need to have 5 players that are going, I hope, to bring our team up.
Okay, and when you look at the group you had today, would you say there are some that are in for testing and some that are 3 players that will represent us when the season begins?
Yes, of course. Inside the group of the training of today, we had 2 different players. In one side, it was only the old player. We knew them very well, and they knew themselves each other. And we try also inside to put some of new players in order to bring more harmony inside the team. And in the other group, we have a player that was recommended to us, and we are looking forward if they can help us. So they had a special work today, and we was looking forward about the ability and the quality they have if they are able to play in the first division. In the other team, inside the former player, it was about to work the physical and condition.
Players have been out for a very long time with no football games, and they just started training. What is being done to ensure that they get up to full fitness when the season begins?
As you know, we have always started as the government asks every team because the COVID-19 is still happening everywhere. So we went first with all the team, player and all the administration staff and medical staff in Bonamusadi to make the COVID test. I can assure you, and I have the results inside my pocket. All the results was negative, and it was a great pleasure for us to know that nobody is contaminated. But we are now training, and there is a lot of people coming behind. I hope there is not going to be what we call in French foyer de contamination in order to keep player. After that, we send them for medical check. All those need to make medical check, because when you stay more than 6 months without playing, you have lost all your ability and all your performance faculty. So we are working them day after day in order to build a very big team.
If I can say about the health situation, last week first we go and check everybody to test to COVID-19, and everybody will be negative, and we are happy of that. And now we started training yesterday, and if you come for us to come and do a test, you must bring your test of COVID-19 negative before they allow you to make a test. Among those who are making the test, we have chosen our old player and our players who they sign. Everybody, we have made tests with everybody, and now things are going well.
All right, now these players have been out. They've not been playing football for over 4 to 5 months. So tell us about how their fitness is being handled by the medical staff.
We are working together with the coach, because we supposed to we cannot work alone. We are going gradually. Now when they start training yesterday, we are go slowly and very slowly, because the body is not used to work in 6 months, over 6 months. Now we are going gradually, and we are check it. And when you have a little problem, they put it out and then follow you in medical way.
Right. So for how long will that slow process go on till they get back to the full match preparation of?
Maybe you can do 1 or 2 weeks. 1 or 2 weeks, so that when the body will be ready, and then will climb, and then will go ahead and then will play well. So by now we are taking slowly. I think that after 10 or 14 days, everything will be well.
Now tell us about the new signings that have come into the Astres of Douala. Who are they?
Talking especially to the new signing, we have not lost a lot of players according to the effective of last year. So we have lost about 7 or 8 players. Around these 8 players, we have made what we call in French specific recruitment. I can assure you, you can see some of the players like Njomo, former goalkeeper of Stade Renard. You can see Basege, former player of Canon, UMS and AS Fortuna. I know you are waiting for some big name like Boyomo. He's asked a very little permission to go and say bye-bye to his family and parents home. He's going to attend here in the next day, and you are going to see him.
All right, top scorer last season we talked about Leon Boyo in
Of
the
course,
championship.
of course.
What motivated Astres Football Club to go for a player like that?
Nowadays the situation is uncomfortable, and our top management, President Jorone Kamdem, has suffered a lot in this. We call him in French a mécène, somebody that spent a lot of time, a lot of money in order to encourage new and young player. And since he have in this job, he had never won a title. So we are trying to do it, but if it's not possible, we are going to check and maybe look for that next year.
To sign more big names as far as the Astres is concerned, and who are they, if we may know?
Because we are not knowing the day of the start of the championship, so we still need 2 players. So among these 2 players, maybe it's going to be a very big name, so we are still waiting.
Le ballon sur le côté, à la base. Ce n'est pas le dos, ce n'est pas le dos. Ce n'est pas le dos, c'est bas sur le côté. Bas sur le côté. Hein?
Tell us about your objective with Les Astres Football Club of Douala this season in the League One Championship.
Les Astres are going to play the maintain because, as you know, we have just get in League One, and in League One you have a lot of very big players, a very big team. Yeah. Sorry, like Union, like P. They need a lot of respect. They need a lot of respect. So we are just get in the first division. So we are going to play the division without any fear, but according a very big respect to those teams.
Okay. All right. Now, when you look at last season with Les Astres Football Club of Douala and everything that happened, what motivated you to stay with this team?
The motivation was very big, as I was talking, because we are in a project and we want to build a very big project, a very big team. People used to think about the former Les Astres, the Brazilian de Bamenda, and we are looking forward if we can bring this team as it was and not only that, we are also looking maybe in order to represent Cameroon in the next 3 years in the African Cup. That was the first motivation that made me to stay, and I have also a very good relationship with President Jorone Kamdem.
how would you describe your last season with les Astres of Douala in a couple of words?
Oui, disons que la saison passée a été tout à fait particulière dans la mesure où, malgré toutes les décisions qui nous donnaient la possibilité de jouer en première division, notre président nous a encouragés à jouer cette Ligue 2. Je crois qu'il faudrait, n'est-ce pas, encourager cette initiative et au besoin lui décerner même la palme de l'homme de l'année. Parce que, imaginez-vous un seul instant, il aurait pu dire que les Astres ne jouent pas et ça allait foirer pratiquement tout le mouvement sportif. Nous nous sommes donc lancés dans cette compétition, sachant qu'on avait plus ou moins fait un recrutement pour jouer la Ligue 1. Nous nous retrouvons donc, malgré et contre notre volonté, en Ligue 2. Nous l'avons joué et nous l'avons peut-être dominé vu la qualité de l'effectif que nous avions. Et c'est ça qui peut justifier, n'est-ce pas, le travail que nous avons accompli. Cette saison est donc passée. Maintenant, nous avons une autre paire de manches. C'est la première division et nous devons beaucoup plus respecter les cadres tels que Coton, tels que Union, tels que PWD de Bamenda.
Okay, being the head of the medical team here at Astres of Douala, how are you preparing towards the start of the season? Are you guys prepared? Can you say we are ready?
Maybe I say it's not the first year.
Yeah.
I'm here since 6 years and we are preparing the season before starting. You know that when you have a new player, you're supposed to do medical tests. When medical tests is well and you can take it and start training. Then how you can do, and match after match you are preparing everything.
Il connaît ça, waouh, pas aussi.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that's how we saw it on board the program. But today, I take the rendezvous next week, Tuesday, for a fresh and a brand new edition of the program from the production crew. Out here to you, Bye-bye and stay tuned.